So today we're using Painlands to precariously drop our life total, play Shadow of Mortality, then use Boon of Boseiju to give +15/+15 to any creature to win the game out of nowhere. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today I'm back with a sweet combo deck I've had a ton of fun with on the ladder, but it's super scary to play with, especially against mono red decks. As always though, I want to thank you all for your support for this channel, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below to not miss out on future content, and you'll be massively supporting the channel in the meantime too. But onto this deck, and it's a Golgari combo deck which either kills in one swing or destroys all your opponent's permanents out of nowhere. So our plan is to get Shadow of Mortality, a 7/7 15 mana avatar creature that says if your life total is less than your starting life total, this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the difference. Onto the battlefield, then cast in Boon of Boseiju to give a creature +15/+15 until end of turn. Boon of Boseiju gives +X/+X, where X is the highest mana value among permanents you control. So we're looking to use the Shadow of Mortality to give +15/+15. So instead of cheating out our Shadow, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way by dropping my life total to 7 and casting it for 2 mana. Simple. But before I get onto the methods there, I want to highlight the second more janky combo in this deck, and that's using Phyrexian Obliterator. So if our Obliterator is being blocked or blocking, we can cast the boon on our opponent's creature to effectively make them destroy all their permanents, well, at least 15 of them. It's rare that this can happen, but it's always a possibility and a super fun one at that. So at first I had way too many creatures that reduced my life, and I quickly realized that you need to stay in control of the damage you're taking. So I think Painlands are a good compromise. You can tap them at any time even without casting something, so they work pretty well here. Apart from the Shadow and the Obliterator, creature wise I've got some Evolved Sleepers and Underdogs. Both can reduce your life total, but both are pretty good on their own too. I've got Gix and Glissa for some card draw, destroying enchantments, and you guessed it, life loss. Defiler of Flesh too. It's a quiet all-star in this deck. It can reduce your life, but is in itself a win con later on in the game, giving menace to a creature that you have and getting through that all-important last bit of damage. I'm also playing Trespassers. You don't have to gain life with this card, but I needed a way to interact with the many graveyard decks I seem to face today, and for this reason, this is a decent addition here. Interaction-wise, we got some cut downs for early threats and Infernal Grasps here for that sweet 2 life loss. Playing Path of Peril, which we can always splash with our Painlands, and a Bushwhack late game combo with Obliterator, although this isn't the main goal of the deck. I've got 24 lands, and that is the deck. If you want to live life on the edge, you gotta at least try this deck. There are so many other cards you could swap in and out to that the possibilities are pretty endless. So let me know what you would play in your version of this deck, and have a watch to see how I got on today. Alright, on the play here. Yeah, pretty nice hand. We will keep this one. So we will try and lose some life through our tap lands here to reduce our life to cast our Shadow. So Sleep is a really nice one there. Venerated Rot Priest for our opponent. Okay, not seeing too many of those Rot Priests today, but the other day, I think every deck I played against seemed to be a white-green Rot Priest deck. But I'm pretty happy playing against that here. I doubt they're going to want to block our creatures, and they probably aren't going to see our plan here, but we'll make sure that we are reducing our life total. One thing against the toxic decks is they don't always try and win with damage, so you want to make sure you do as much damage yourself as possible. But if the opponent was to attack with the Rot Priest here, I wouldn't block, so try and cast our Shadow for cheaper, but we do have Boon in our hand, so I really like where we are actually. Defiler is a pretty nice card as well at reducing our life total. Opponent with their second Thicket, and there's Skrelv, okay. So I'm pretty happy. Another Rot Priest. Okay, not quite so happy now, but wonder if they block if we were to attack. So 3 Painlands on the battlefield. We will attack. There's no way they block. Yeah, I didn't think so. So we'll evolve our Sleeper. Take 3 damage for doing that. Hopefully the opponent attacks us next turn to reduce our life even further. And then I haven't done the math at all, but we might be able to cast our Shadow next turn. So yeah, looking okay for us here. Just a little bit worried about targeted spells at their end, but there's a Slaughter Singer. Okay, so that's going to actually do more damage to us. Okay, so they're getting in there with Skrelv and the 2 Rot Priests. So this is 6 damage we're taking, so I'm fine with my life going down to 8. So yeah, our Shadow of Mortality is already a 3 mana spell. We should have lethal here, actually. Just make sure we tap right. We take some damage here. Get our Shadow onto the battlefield. And we'll attack, and whatever the opponent does not block, we'll cast the Boon of Boseiju on it to give it +15/+15 and do 18 damage. So a great game here to show off this weird little combo here. There's no way they think they're about to die. Nope. Yeah, and get to cast our Boon here. +15/+15. And it looks like they're going to die to a 18/18 Evolved Sleeper. I don't know what they could have in their deck to get out of this. Presumably they've got some targeted spells at their end. Tyver's Stand, there we go. So even a something to gain some life there wouldn't have worked. And opponent dies. All right, on the play. Hand looks a medium hand here. But we've got some ways to reduce our life total, and always with the Shadow and the Boon in our hand, we'll try and keep these ones. We'll throw a stop in the opponent's end step to make sure that we tap our land. Ping us. Ooh, there's an Obliterator. Nice. Alright, well, we'll take some more damage and cast our Underdog. Opponent, I'm not sure what is going on at our end. And it's Mercurial Spelldancer. Okay, so a poisony rogue style deck. Come across a few of these recently. I think this might be a chance for us to maybe get rid of this Spelldancer. The Underdog in our graveyard isn't the worst in the world. Yeah, we'll Path to Peril here. We can always cast the Underdog from our graveyard if we need to, and that's another couple of life that we can take. But anyway, we'll get rid of this Spelldancer off the battlefield. So we're down to 15. Here comes a Billis Skull Dweller. 1/1 with Death Touch and Toxic. There's Glissa. Alright, well, we're going to keep doing this. Our life total is a resource that we're going to use, and we'll cast our Glissa, but the opponent is countering that. Okay, so attack us down to 12. So we're getting closer to our Shadow of Mortality here. Really want to hit a land drop now. Can't go too much longer without one. Right on cue. So we'll cast our Obliterator. It's a 5/5. It survives the Drown, the -4/-4. And no counter spells for opponent. Okay, but I go for the throat instead. So don't really care about that. And second Boon. Alright, so we've got our combo in our hands like twice. We'll cast a Shadow of Mortality here. Yeah, down to 7 life means we can cast this for just 2 mana. Alright, opponent has a counter spell. Well, do they have another? Because we've got another one in our hand. And there, a 7/7 on the battlefield. 2 boons in our hand. Opponent attacks us. Well, yeah, we're not going to block that. And let's see what they have, because we can attack with 7/7 here. Boon of Boseiju, +15/+15, and even a second Boon of the Boseiju for another +15/+15. 37 damage in one swing. Alright, on the draw. I mean, this hand's pretty nice. It's pretty top heavy though. We do have our combo, but waiting to turn, what, 4 to do something here? I'm not sure about this. I think we're going to have to mulligan here. This is better. The Phyrexian Arena is a nice little card here. Hopefully he can catch us back up as we have to mull to 6. We'll put the Trespasser at the bottom of the deck. Opponent with a Foundry. Okay, so probably mono red or mono white, I would say. So against the creature heavy decks, we've got to be a little bit careful about the amount of damage we take. And it looks like mono red. So there has been times where I was been playing with this deck and you take your life total down to 6 or 7 and they just throw out a few burn spells. So just got to be a little bit wary. As we've got our Infernal Grasp there. Can take care of this Swift Spear. We'll let them do their thing first. See what they want to do. Alright, it's an Infantry. And Kamano. Okay, so we could just take care of the Swift Spear here. I'm actually going to take care of the infantry. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but we have cut downs in our deck that can deal with the Swift Spear. I just don't want to get this infantry, yeah, too big. And I think we'll just deal with that now. Life total goes down to 14. And the Glissa's a pretty nice way to deal with the Swift Spear. It's a 3/3 with First Strike and Death Touch. So we'll cast that. Just take the 1 damage there. We could have taken 2. It's not a natural thing to do to want to take damage from these pain lands. So I'll keep that in mind to make sure that we maximize the amount of damage we take going forward. But against mono red, like I said, we want to make sure that we're not taking too much. So Lightning Strike on our Glissa. And here comes a Swift Spear. So with the Shadow of Mortality in our hand, we're just kind of waiting till we can get that and see if the opponent can do anything about a 7/7 on the board. So we cast our Defiler. So they got a load of attackers here. And there's a Dwarven Forge Chanter, sorry. Actually has Ward 2 life, so it could benefit us later on, but I'm not sure we're going to be necessarily winning this game. We can't take too much more damage, especially against this deck, like I said. So this is a precarious deck. It's kind of fun, but it's slightly playing on the edge. It's certainly sort of reinvigorated my arena play today, having to do something completely different to what I'm used to. Usually you want to save your life total, but finding the balance of taking your life down is a difficult one. The opponent doesn't attack though, and there's our cut down. Fair enough. Should they have attacked there? Or we would have taken at least 4? I don't know. So, gonna just cast the Shadow of Mortality here. Yeah, this is a super difficult deck, I think, to pilot, but we'll hold open cut down, which we can cast for with the Deathcap Glade without taking any damage. We could have cast the Phyrexian Arena there, but the 1 damage we're going to be taking in our upkeep with that card could come back and bite us in the back, so I'm not going to play that here. I did originally have Stronghold Arena in the deck, but a couple of times I lost to the Shadow of Mortality being on top of the deck and just losing my life total pretty quickly. But if you want a quicker combo, that card played early can reduce your life total pretty dramatically by like turn 2 or 3. Opponent with a Ancestral Anger though. And a Phoenix Chick. Okay, so we're pretty much staring down lethal. I haven't really done the math here. We have the cut down probably for the Swift Spear, but this Phoenix Chick is just going to kill us in a couple of turns. So a tough old game here. But I do always feel like we're 1 card away from winning. We just need that Boon of Boseiju to give +15, +15. A Phyrexian Obliterator here as well would be pretty nice. No mono red deck likes attacking into that. And yeah, opponent just attacks with a Phoenix Chick. So they're being slightly passive with their attacks. I get what they don't want to lose their creatures, but maybe they're looking at our mana base thinking we're going to just kill ourselves. Which at this moment, I think we're going to... I don't know whether to cut down the Phoenix Chick here, which... I mean, if I do that, they can just cast it again next turn when they... if they attack with everything, and then it comes out with a counter on it, so... Probably best just taking 1 damage here. Okay, I kind of want to cut down that Swift Spear Second thoughts though, in case they've got an instant in their hand that they can just give it prowess. So we'll cut it down on our turn once it reduces back to 1-2. We just draw a land though, which is not ideal here. Definitely don't want to play this arena though, so I guess if opponent is playing like this, then we can just hope that they're just going to keep attacking with the Phoenix chick. But yeah, living life a little bit on the edge here, but I doubt they can find an effective way to get through a 7-7, to be honest. Just pass our turn and see what they want to do. Okay, they find a mountain. So whatever they've got in their hand, they don't seem to want to play. I'm thinking it is a burn spell. Maybe a play with fire. Okay, Mishra's Foundry, fair enough. Is this the all-out attack? Just the Phoenix chick, okay. Okay, so they don't attack with everything here. Yeah, not really sure what's going on. Let's block what we can. Funny old game, this one. I think we should have lost a couple of turns ago, but it is what it is. So the Phyrexian Arena, if we cast it next turn, Boon of Boseiju. Okay, so we can boon for +15, +15. If we put that on the Defiler, we can do 19 damage. We could play the Phyrexian Arena, which puts a +1 counter on a target creature and menace. So then we could put the menace counter, or we can give Shadow of Mortality menace to end of turn. Or we can put the +1 counter on the Defiler, and it already has menace, which would be the 20 damage. But I think we would die, because we'd need to cast this for 2 life, and we've only got the 1 land that can be cast without taking damage. So there's only one real option here, I think. We just try and attack and hopefully they don't block. Which they don't. Okay. Wow, we got out of that one, didn't we? Whew. That was stressful. Alright, on the draw here, seems a keepable hand. Got some spells and some lands to almost cast them. But yeah, we'll keep this one. Alright, opponent with the plains and Crawling Chorus. Alright, so another white toxic deck, maybe a Selesnya one, but the Chorus generally just sits in the white ones. Phyrexian Arena there is pretty nice to try and find some land drops, and there is a Skrelv's Hive. Done pretty well against these poison decks today. Always make sure you ping yourself, as they can't always do a lot of damage to you. The question is now, do we want to Infernal Grasp with the Chorus, or play our Underdog as a little blocker? Going to pick the Infernal Grasp. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Infernal Grasp. An argument there to play the Underdog. Okay, there's Adeline, so I think we may have picked the right thing. Maybe not, because we could have Infernal Grasped on our following turn. So yeah, kind of wish I played the Underdog as a blocker, played the Infernal Grasp this turn, but so be it. I guess we drop our Arena here, take a couple of damage from the opponent, plus the pinging of the Wastes there. So we're down to 14. Yeah, we're going to take a couple of damage here. Oh, another Adeline. Okay. So we're going to need some removal spells here all of a sudden. All right, this is not going well. Hey, there's a Path of Peril, but no land. We really needed to have hit our land drop there, because if we just blow up the board here, all that's going to be left is an Adeline, and the Crawling Chorus is going to leave behind a token. Skrelv's Hive's going to create one. So yeah, Adeline's going to be pretty powerful over the next couple of turns. So this isn't looking too good. I don't think we have a choice other than blowing up as much of the board as we can. But yeah, already the Adeline is now at 3-4. There's Wedding Announcement as well. And opponent attacks us, and we go down to 4, and I'm not sure there's any cards we have that can get us out of this. We do find a Swamp at last, but yeah, even if we are able to stabilize, the Phyrexian Arena will kill us in no time. But we do get our 7-7 onto the battlefield, and you know what? We do have a boon in our hand, so Were we that far away from losing? Maybe a turn or a... We'll see. I mean, we die to our arena if the opponent takes us down to 1. Ossification, okay. So they had the ossification anyway for the Shadow. Fair enough. Yeah. Well and truly beaten in this one. All right, on the draw. Pretty nice hand here. I mean, yeah, if you want to draw with this deck, this is the one. Couple of sleepers, our underdog. Opponent with a Swift Spear, though. All right, so mono red. It's good to know if you're on the draw and you're playing mono red, because in this instance, we get to play our Swamp, not one of our pain lands, as we can't take too much damage to the 2 Swift Spears on the battlefield. And Ancestral Anger on one of them. We'll cut that one down. Take 2 damage from the other one, and that will stop them drawing a card as well. So if we're up against mono red, I'm going to cast the Tenacious Underdog here. I think having a blocker on the battlefield that can actually deal with this Swift Spear is better. If they've got a sort of burn spell, they're more inclined to want to use it on my creature than my face. Another Swift Spear, okay, so that's the 3rd one. So a pretty good start by them. And it is a slash onto our underdog, so we're going to take 4 damage here. Down to 13. There's a Takenuma, which is a pretty nice card as it's our 3rd land that we don't need to take damage from, but I'm going to want to maybe use that later to bring back a creature if we have to. So we'll just cast both of these Evolved Sleepers, and we'll just try and stem this bleeding a little bit. Okay, opponent attacks with both. I think I'm just going to block one of these. I don't want to block both. Or do I? I don't think I want to block both, as I don't want to get blown out by like a Play with Fire or something, but I also don't want to get too smashed to pieces. Opponent with a Blazing Crescendo. Okay, so we're saving 2 damage here. Do they have another one? Oh, it's just Lightning Strike. Okay, so we're taking 6. We're going down to 4. I'm kind of glad I blocked one of these. But they are out of cards. I mean, this is dicey. Do we evolve this sleeper so we can at least block the Swift Spears next turn? You know what? I'm not here to play safe today. I'm going to do it. At least this can deal with one of the Swift Spears. Okay, and then we obviously got to have such a low life total here that we get to cast the Shadow of Mortality. So that's a 7/7, and the underdog's not going to cost us any life as well. Alright, so our board looks pretty nice. Do need to try and find a way to win though, so I'm going to attack here and just hope the opponent can't kill us. I mean, if they draw a Lightning Strike or just a burn spell, they draw a Lightning Strike or a burn spell, there's not much I can do. But we'll certainly play on the edge a little bit as they attack with both their Swift Spears, so definitely a instant here from the opponent. Another Blazing Crescendo, okay. So they do lose a Swift Spear, we lose our underdog. And it was a mountain that they have, so we're still in the game. There's a Glissa, we don't have the forest here. Unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to evolve the sleeper once and make it a 3/3 because I want to attack with it. I guess I could attack with the 7/7 instead here, but I would worry about some kind of removal spell on the sleeper. So maybe I'm being slightly cautious. Don't want to evolve the sleeper another time, as we will lose a life for doing that. And I don't mind going down to 2 life, but I want to do it as late as possible. Okay, opponent just passes through their turn. Okay, so is this the kind of opening we need here? I mean, this could easily be a Play with Fire in their hand, and they're definitely thinking about it. Well, that's nice because that's a green source that we can use to play our Glissa, sorry. We'll definitely drop that onto the battlefield. So a really sort of tense game here. Having that such a low life total gives such a sort of extra degree of trepidation here, whether to attack or not. It's going to attack with the 2 creatures here, put them down to 5. If they draw a removal spell for the Sunslayer, so be it. But I want to drop them below 6 life here, so at least we have a lethal attack next turn. Opponent attacks with a Swift Spear. Well, I'm going to block that all day long. And they have a Blazer Crescendo, okay. What do they find? No Lightning Strike. Ah, it's just a mountain. Excellent. Still hoping they don't have one in their hand. They do have an unknown card. And yeah, we finally got there. Whew. Pretty decent hand with our cut down and our sleeper. Always seem to draw the sleeper in our opening hand. And I do like it. Nice little early threat our opponents have to deal with. Plus a cheeky way to reduce our life total. Opponent with a mountain. Not another mono red deck. And a Swift Spear. Okay, I've seen a lot of them today, but you know, the Obliterator on our hand is pretty nice against red. They didn't attack with their Swift Spear. Fair enough. Well, we're just going to sit tight until we can get down our Trespasser and our Obliterator. So, Trespasser, you don't have to gain life with it. Don't feel like you need to do that in this deck. I think I like to have it as it's just a difficult, annoying creature for our opponents to have to get through. Plus, it deals with the graveyard pretty nicely. Going to just cast the cut down here. They might have another spell to give it prowess, but we've got to take that risk. And could have tapped our land there, end of turn. But we will cast the Trespasser and we'll get rid of Play with Fire in case they've got a the 2/2 that lets you play from the graveyard. I forget what it's called. Opponent is hovering over our Trespasser though. Pretty nice card against mono red, I think. The Boseiju in our hand could be decent against any enchantments our opponent has, but really want a black mana source next turn for our Obliterator. Okay, Lightning Strike to our Trespasser. I'm fine with that, and there is a Kumano. Alright, we go down to 17, and there's Takenuma. Alright, so we'll play our Obliterator. I definitely know that this is something mono red decks don't like to see. There's not many ways they can get through a 5/5 without losing 5 permanents in doing so. And there's Squee. Okay. I wonder if they attack. They do not, so we find a Deathcap Glade. I might have actually taken the damage there from Squee to reduce my life total to get the Shadow of Mortality onto the battlefield. So, I guess with the Shadow on the in my hand, we do have an opportunity here to try and combo to make the opponent lose all of their permanents. So I think this could be an opening if we can find a Boon of Boseiju. So I'm not going to block if they want to attack. I know with the Obliterator it's the normal thing to do, but they don't attack. Okay. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll start doing damage to ourselves, and we'll get rid of this Etching of Kumano. If they're not going to attack with their creatures, we'll start doing damage to ourselves. So we've got our Shadow of Mortality down to an 8 mana creature now. There's another mountain for our opponent and Evolved Sleeper. Okay, I mean, Evolved Sleeper is what it is. We'll ping ourselves, and yeah, we'll play this. So I don't know if the opponent knows what we're doing or thinks what we're doing, but we're taking so much damage ourselves. They've got to know that we are playing the Shadow of Mortality if they know of the card. I could definitely attack there with the Obliterator, but having it on defense is always a decent option. And okay, Lightning Strike our Obliterator. Fair enough. So maybe our plan of winning with Boon of Boseiju on the Obliterator is not going to work. They're going to have to get rid of 5 permanents here. I mean, that is quite a lot. And if they want to attack with their squee, we're going to have a Shadow of Mortality next turn, as I'm not going to block it, but they're going to get rid of 5 lands. I doubt it. I guess they could have attacked with squee first to create a 1/1 to sacrifice before they played that last play with fire, or not done any of this because they're down to just 1 mountain. Sure, we'll evolve our sleeper. And I guess we'll try and win the old-fashioned way with a sleeper and our Shadow of Mortality. Okay, there's Bushwhack, so that would have been a nice little card with our Obliterator, but take some more damage, we'll evolve our sleeper, we'll attack our opponent. There's surely no way they can get back into this. I will say though, we are on 9 life or 8 life now, so we have to be slightly aware. Let's pass our turn. Opponent with a mountain. Yeah, they can't really do much. I guess they're on 16 life though. Well, we find our land for our turn. And we'll drop the Shadow of Mortality. Don't need to lose any more life. Opponent down to 12. And Mishra's Foundry and Squee. Alright, so they've kind of rebuilt their board slightly. But they're going to have to block next turn, so they can't attack here, because otherwise we just evolve our sleeper and attack down the opponent for 12 damage. Yep, they don't attack, so we'll evolve the sleeper. There's Infernal Grasp, and that should be game. We'll just kill off their squee and hit the opponent for 12, so nice little win there.